Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi
Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Ma Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Ram Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jai Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. भगवान श्री योगी राम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगी राम सूरत कुमार अर्पणमस्तु। With deep gratitude for His boundless grace, which has made it possible to gather here day after day after day, singing His powerful divine name. We have offered His Nama lotuses at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Now today, some devotees want me to explain what exactly is transformation. We talk so much about transformation, both inner and outer, but what does it mean? How do we get it? Now, we all know how a larva, worm, slowly, gradually becomes a butterfly. It begins to stay in a cocoon, and while staying in the cocoon, it looks like a prison to us from outside, and yet all the growth takes place there. It begins to develop its wings also, and then to gather strength for the wings to fly out, it keeps on dashing against the wall of the cocoon. It does it several times, and each time it does, the wings gather more strength. So it's absolutely necessary for this worm to acquire full strength for its wings, so that finally it makes a hole in the cocoon and it comes out and then begins to fly in all happiness. This is what should happen to us also. A butterfly stands for liberation. That's why Bhagavan used to say he would come in the form of a butterfly. You see how it flies in the sky? Happily, freely. So what does it mean to us? Now our Bhagavan has taught us that God is the goal of everybody's life, no matter where you are and to what religion you belong. God has given us this body. He has made it. Just think for a moment. Can you synthesize an eye like this? How sophisticated the structure of the eye? Can we simulate it? Can we produce a synthetic eye which would be exactly like this and function like this? Just not possible, though they have been trying. Every part of the body, just think what masterly intelligence must have made it. No single part of the body is redundant. Every part is functional and is necessary for the function of the whole body. And every bit, what we see outside is one thing, what we cannot see inside. The circulation of the blood, the way the lungs function, the way the intestines function, how the food is digested and converted into energy for the body, and the rest, which is not necessary, is pushed out. How perfect! That supreme intelligence alone can create a body like this. And why? Why would he take the trouble to create a body like this? And he has given us, each one of us, a life to lead. We have our own parents, our own place of birth, our own identity and biodata. And each one is different from the other. No repetition. Even the twins, identical twins, the so-called identical twins, there would still be a difference between the two. And the characteristics also may differ. The infinite will never repeat itself. Such is its intelligence and power. Now, why would the divine give us this body and this life? Is it to indulge in pleasures of the life and go about life the way our mind takes us along? Why would he put himself to such trouble to create such a beautiful body, very functional? And so much difference between person and person. One is born poor, the other one is born rich. One is born blind. One is born with mental retardation. One is born a genius. Now all these differences, the great souls tell us the goal of life is God. It's only to remember God and attain Him that this life is given to us, this body is given to us. This body is given to us to work out the prarabdha karmas, our previous karmas, the karmas of our previous births. And while doing so, we create new karmas, good karmas and bad karmas, which would take us along, that after the death, again we would take birth to work out the karmas that we have created in this birth. So there is continuity of creation. So in doing so, how can we escape from the karmas? The bad karmas and good karmas. Do you think we can think and analyze and do only good karmas? Is it possible? We know in our practical life it's not possible. It's called tapas, to take up a vow and then to practice it. Now, so how do we go about it? When the great souls tell us, the great masters, the divine masters tell us, God is the goal of life, or Bhagavan said, you remember the name. When you remember the name, you are remembering God Himself. You remember the name of God, and you are remembering God, and it's only while you are remembering God, you are truly living. The times you forget God, you don't live, you are dead. You may be breathing and you may be carrying your body, which is breathing, and yet remember you are carrying a dead body, your own dead body, which is still breathing, of course. Why? It is not serving the purpose of life. So the purpose of life is God, or God remembrance. So to remember God is to remember His name. Or Bhagavan tells us again and again, if you want to be happy in life, you have to make God happy. And to make God happy is to remember His name.
Now, we are all only instruments in the hands of God, but we do not know it. We think each one is a separate being, and then we run our own lives. We use our brain and we run our lives. We think, we plan, we execute, we run our life. This is the impression that's been given to us. But then just think for a moment. Did you put the breath in your body? Did you create your body in the first place? Did you put the breath there? How can you say you own this body? How can you even call it your body? What did you do? So, this divine intelligence, what we call the Chaitanya, that is inside, the indweller, inside us, it is pure awareness. This is what we call the Supreme Brahman, Parabrahman. He is sitting right inside us. And it is in Him our every breath is rooted. He has put the breath there and He is activating the breath. So the breath that goes out comes back. And you continue to live on. Your body continues to function. So it is He who has put the breath and it's He who is activating it. And because He activates your breath, your brain works, your eyes see, your ears hear, your body is able to move, and you are able to run your life. Now you tell me, who is the author of your life? Who is the author of your body? It's He. He is the doer. He is activating your breath. He is activating your brain. So He is activating your thinking. And because of the thinking, the words come out. And then they become actions. So we know even by simple logic like this, we are not the doers, which means we are only instruments in the hands of God. So all of us are only instruments in the hands of God. But then we should be good instruments in the hands of God. We see there are many, many bad people, wicked people, evil people. We don't want to be evil instruments in the hands of God. We want to be fine instruments, sattvic instruments in the hands of God. So that the life that is run by the divine from inside us will be a divine life, which is the purpose of life. So knowing this, we have to make ourselves a good instrument in the hands of God. So how do we go about it? We know that God is the goal of life, and we want to be a good instrument in His hands. What is being a bad instrument? We all know that we have anger, fear, sorrow, jealousy, self-pride, and growing desires turning into needs of the day. These are all the dirt of the mind. If you want to purify, if you want to become a sattvic instrument in the hands of God, then your mind has to be purified. Purified of this dirt, kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, mascharya. These are all the dirt of the mind. So what do we do? Bhagavan says, you remember the name, because it's easy to do so. Sitting in one place, even for half an hour, is very difficult for many, many, many of us. Because the mind keeps wandering and you become restless. And then you just want to go out. You make a round somewhere and then come back and sit in the chair and maybe chant for a little while, and then again you want to move out. You cannot sit in one place even for half an hour. Such is the restlessness of the mind. So Bhagavan says, you remember the name, you move about, but chanting the name, you can walk in and out. Chanting the name, you can sit for some time. Chanting the name, you can go about your daily work. So remembering the name, even as we live our everyday life, if we keep on remembering the name, if we keep on chanting the name, make it a part of our daily life, then we are serving the purpose of life. The purpose of life for which we have come into this world. So, we have to remember the name, and Bhagavan says, remember also that you are only an instrument in my hands. And then you want to be a fine instrument, you want to be a good instrument. So what do? Whatever work we do in our daily life, you don't have to change your daily routine, you don't have to change anything about your life. You continue to be wife or husband, continue to be mother or father, continue to play the role and the routine, and yet just add one more element. Remember that this life is for the sake of God. You begin to live, that you are living. You begin to think that you are living for the sake of God, that God is behind your every breath. God is behind your every thought, every word, every deed. So you have to bring in the remembrance of God, the remembrance of His name. And as you go about your daily work, just keep offering, God, I think that I am doing this work, so I am offering it to you. Just mentally, one sentence, I am offering this work to you. And God would take it seriously, even if you don't do it seriously. Every work that falls into your hand while you live your daily life, just keep offering it to God. Even if you don't remember to do it then and there, when you remember, you can tell Him, up till now, whatever I have done, I am offering to you. Because you are the real doer. You are activating my brain, and the brain is running my every day. So you are the real doer, but then I forget. And I think that I am doing. So I am there, and therefore you are there, and I am offering it to you. As I used to say, plucking a beautiful flower from a tree or a plant, and then dropping it at the feet of God, saying that I am doing puja, is very easy. The tree or a plant will go into so much trouble to create one flower. Or you pluck it so easily and drop it at the feet and call it puja. But what is real puja? Offering your every thought, offering your every word, offering your every action is real puja. So you have to remember to offer every action. And how much more relevant and deep and a wonderful puja it will be. So once you add the remembrance of God to your daily life, then you begin to understand that your very breath is because of Him, and He is the doer and you are only an instrument, and you want to be a good instrument in His hands. So what do? You offer your every action to Him. If you cannot do it all through the day, at least while getting up from the night's sleep, just stay put in the bed, chant the name of the Divine for some time, say for even 5 minutes, without just getting up and starting the work. Just chant the name of God for a few minutes and then pray, Bhagwan, You are activating my everyday life. You are behind everything, my thinking, my talking, my actions. Yet I think that I am doing it, and therefore the whole day ahead, whatever I think, whatever I will speak, whatever I will do, now itself I pray to you that I will say I am offering it to you and you must take it seriously. Please be with me all through the day. Guide me, protect me, help me. And let me remember to offer it to you, because it's all yours. And then again, before you go to bed in the night, just take 5 minutes to chant His name and then offer all that you thought of during the day, all that you spoke, be it good or bad, and all that you did. Offer them all at His feet, because it is He inside who is prompting you to do all that. He is the real doer. So all that we think and talk and do belong to Him. So say, I am offering all that to you. I am offering myself to you. And then go to bed. Then the whole karmic sheet becomes clean. You have no karma to own up. And when you do not own up your karma, you don't have to pay for it. So this is one way of making every karma into dharma. So Bhagwan said, keep on chanting the name and do everything as an offering to God. The third point that he made, help others as much as you can. But while helping, do not think that you are helping the other person with the expectations that he should recognize your help and then do something in return for it. When you help somebody, think that I am helping this so and so for your sake, for God's sake, for my Bhagwan's sake, so that this help will be between you and Bhagwan. Though the other person receives help, you have nothing to do with him. You are making an offering to Bhagwan, and the fruit is much higher when you do it for the sake of Bhagwan, meaning in the spirit of surrender to Bhagwan. And then the fourth thing that you have to do is, in the beginning, we pray to God for something that we want, then we keep on expecting God to grant it, and when He does it, you feel so happy, and then you say, oh, God is so merciful, so gracious. He's simply wonderful. And the next time when you pray for something, it doesn't happen, no matter how much you do. And then you say, why God is testing me? Why is God giving me all these troubles? Why is He singling me out for these adversities? Now you have to remember that everything that happens in your life is what you have invited by your own previous karma. So God is not testing you. God is not giving you trouble. He is there only to alleviate your suffering. He is there only to mitigate your suffering. So all that you have to do is pray to Him during the suffering. Please make it a blessing for me. Please give me strength to bear it. Please give me strength to accept it as your blessing. So the fourth point that you have to practice is acceptance. Whatever life brings to you. In the beginning of life, you think that only when you get something that you pray for, that's blessing. But as you grow up spiritually, by chanting more and more and more Nama, and doing more and more and more seva in the spirit of surrender, you begin to understand that when you pray for something, sometimes not giving what you want is also grace. So Bhagavan may not give you what you want, no matter how much you pray for it. Then you know that it's not being granted to you because it's going to be harmful to you sometime or the other in life. Then you slowly understand how even not getting what you want from God after your much prayer is also a blessing. And slowly, slowly as you advance more and more, you begin to see everything as grace. You have nothing more to ask for because you understand that God is already running your life. And whatever God gives you, whatever God arranges in your everyday life is the best for you at any moment. Wherever God has placed you is the best place for your spiritual growth. Whatever happens at any moment is the best that can happen to you at that moment. Why? It's all being arranged by God for your greater good, for your closer kinship with God. So slowly, in the beginning, we think the grace is what? When I get a prayer granted, that is grace. But as I grow up, I begin to understand that not getting what I want is also grace. And later, I begin to understand that everything in life is grace. Everything is God-given. Everything happens by God's will, and whatever happens is perfect because God is perfect, and whatever happens is necessary for your spiritual growth, and therefore a definite blessing. This is transformation. So what happens in the meantime to the mind? The mind is getting purified. Your fear becomes less and less and less. Your anger becomes less and less and less. Your sorrow also fades into insignificance. Your self-pride, because you know you're only an instrument, you have nothing to claim as your own. So there is no self-pride. And what's more, now you begin to want God Himself. That you know that He is the Supreme and He is within your reach if you put your entire being into it. So why would you settle down for smaller things? So you see, slowly, slowly, we grow up, we get transformed, and the mind becomes purer and purer. There will be less and less fear, less and less anger. So the dirt of the mind is washed off. So the Nama, every Nama has this power to purify you, to remove, to uproot the dirt of the mind. Not only that, it has the power to destroy your past sins. It has the power to prevent you from further sins. It has the power to purify your brain, which means your brain becomes sharper and sharper. Everything about your body, everything about your mind gets cleaned, gets cleansed of all those unwanted things. And therefore, you begin to grow and grow and grow towards God. So this is transformation. And you see in the cocoon how the larva bangs its head against the closed cocoon. From outside, it would look as though the poor thing is struggling and trying but failing. But remember, every failure is strength to its wings. Every failure that comes to us is a step ahead to victory, to success. Suppose you feel very bad about the struggles of the larva, and then you open it. You open the cocoon before the time is up, and then you bring it out. You will see the pathetic growth of the wings. The wings would not have enough strength to fly, and poor thing will be down there, struggling to fly, but unable to do it. It is immature. Like a premature child that comes out has to be kept in the incubator. So, let us understand that the Nama chanting and seva done in the spirit of surrender to the Guru and acceptance of everything that life brings to you as a blessing from God. These are the practices that we have to do. And we have to do it earnestly, in all earnestness and sincerity. And then one day, all these Mahatmas come here to show us that there is such a state of fullness, a state of bliss, independent of anything external. Now, you will know from your daily life, your happiness has a very slender thread. It's hanging upon somebody's praise. It's hanging upon the type of work that you do. It's hanging upon a situation. So it hangs upon so many things. Your happiness depends upon something or somebody. Now there is a state of being where you have continued bliss, independent of anything or anyone. Now that state is a state of liberation. We all have to aim for that because that is the goal of life. So we should remember to practice the Nama chanting and the seva in the spirit of surrender to the Guru and help without any expectation, again as an offering to God or Guru, and finally acceptance of what life brings to you as a blessing from God for your greater good, for your closer kinship with God. We shall now offer our today's prayer at the feet of Bhagavan. Bhagavan, we beg again and again, the pathetic state of the world today. We read about the floods of Assam and the landslides of Manipur, the eastern India, and then the war between the two countries, the violence that's been in the flow of things today. There's no control, there's no harmony, there's no peace, there's no unity. We beg you again and again to bring in a dharmic normalcy to the world in all aspects of life. Please bring in peace, harmony, order where there is chaos. We also beg you to uproot all the negativities of the human mind that are responsible for today's world. We also beg you to reach out to all those people who are suffering because of the floods, because of the landslides, because of the war, because of the crude violence that you find everywhere, such pointless violence. Bhagavan, please do the needful to all these people, and we beg you again to protect all those unselfish people who are rushing ahead to help others. We also beg you for a lift to our economy, and we pray to you in all earnestness and sincerity for unbroken remembrance of your name. And we beg you to bless us to be fine and sattvic instruments in your hands so that we could run our everyday life as an offering to you. Please bless us not to be tempted by the snares of Maya. And we seek your ultimate grace, your supreme blessing for the supreme state of fullness, state of bliss, by taking refuge in your Nama, in your Seva, in selfless help to others, a service to you, and practicing acceptance of everything as a blessing from you, so that we be liberated from the vicious cycle of births and deaths, from the tyranny of ego, so that we would be able to feel your living, vibrant presence everywhere, in everything. And we would know that it is your will that's behind all the happenings of life. And we would be able to detect that hidden grace even in the most devastating experiences of life, knowing that it is what we have invited by our past karma, and yet you will make it a blessing by pushing us towards you, not distancing us from you, so that we be grateful to you even for the adversities of life. We also pray to you for the sake of all the species of the cosmos, in whatever state of being they are, to be lifted to a higher plane. Bhagwan, we beg you and pray to you again and again that we be blessed with eternal living in you, the eternal supreme. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.